ladies and gentlemen of the Congress Council. My team and I from the Office of Surgeon General are here on official business facing a pressing problem towards our healthcare system. This has been an issue that has built up for an abundant amount of time, and now we must take action before it is too late. It has become a great concern that the United States has fallen to number 37 in the world healthcare systems according to the World Health Organization's ranking in 2018. With the increase in healthcare prices, a growing gap between economic classes, and the lack of care provided to patients, it is now time to encourage a change in the United States Healthcare Center. Comparing the United States to other countries, our DALY, or Disability Adjusted Life Year, which is the measure of burden of disease that takes into account of life lost due to premature death as well as years of productive life lost to poor health or disability. This burden represents the gap between the ideal health situation for a population and the population's current health status. The United States is way above the others in this disease burden, and this has become a pressing issue for years, and if it continues to go unnoticed, the United States will continue to fall lower and lower on the scale of health.
We have seen a dramatic decrease in where the U.S. ranks based on average life expectancy. It currently ranks 26th amongst OECD countries with the average life expectancy of 79 years old. Japan ranks number 1 with an average of 84 years old. Also, almost all Western European countries have a longer life expectancy than the United States. It is as if the top income percentiles belong to one world of elite, wealthy U.S. adults, whereas the bottom income percentiles each belong to separate worlds of poverty, each unhappy and unhealthy in its own way. Educational attainment, sex, and race interact with and complicate the income-health relationship. Two additional dimensions add complexity, thinking beyond income to wealth and thinking beyond mortality to death. Wealth refers to the total value of assets and debts possessed by an individual, not just the flow of money defined as an income. Wealth is even more unequally divided than income. While the top 10% of the income distribution received a little more than half of all income, the top 10% of the health distribution held more than 3/4 of all wealth. This matters because it is one way that inequities persist over time. Through, for instance, legacy effects of Jim Crow laws or discriminatory housing policies that affect wealth and health over generations. In 2017, 8.8% of people, or 28.5 million people, did not have health insurance at any time during the year. The percentage of people with health insurance coverage for all of our part of 2017 was 91.2%. If that doesn't raise an eyebrow, then Hillary Clinton might as well be president. Thank you.
Hello, Council. I'm here with the hope to inform you, with the help of my associates, about America's disastrous public health situation, specifically about both the national and per capita spending, as well as maternal mortality, the amount of women who die during pregnancy or within 42 days of termination, and the amount of people who go bankrupt due to large medical bills. As a nation, we spend $3.5 trillion on healthcare annually, which accounts for 17% of the nation's spending. With a bill so large, you'd think that we as a nation would rank high in the quality of healthcare, but as previously mentioned, we are 37th, just one rank above that of Slovenia. In addition to that, we have some of the highest per capita spending, averaging at $10,739 per household. Global average for spending is right around $5,000. Despite the amount her citizens pay, the United States has a breadth of issues and a wide range of healthcare quality depending on where you live in the States. Let it be mentioned that the amount of money a person spends on health insurance does not reflect the quality of healthcare that person receives, as they can only use what is available. For example, looking at the maternal mortality rate of the United States can show how even though it is one of the most developed countries in the world, its healthcare system still needs much needed reform. According to the World Factbook, of 184 countries studied, the country ranking first in maternal mortality is Sierra Leone, with 1,360 deaths per 100,000, with the United States coming in much later at 138th place, with 14 deaths per 100,000, still 46 from the top. While this is not a bad place to be, it still does not live up to the American standard, and especially does not reflect the spending of our nation. In addition to this, despite the average American already paying nearly $11,000 annually, as well as mostly being covered by health insurance, there are still cases of people having to cover their own medical bills, causing them to go bankrupt. In fact, medical bills were the biggest cause of United States bankruptcies, with 1 million a year. That means 1 every 30 seconds. In conclusion, this nation needs much needed medical reform, and the only way that will happen is if people are informed of the imperfections and begin to discuss possible solutions.